You're one of 4 co-chairs of the World Business Council for Sustainable Development, which today has launched its Vision 2050 report. What's it all about?
Well, Vision 2050, first of all, was forged under the urgency of recognizing that with 6 billion people in the earth today and headed to 9 billion by 2050, that if we didn't do something different, then we're really going to face a lot of difficulty and a lot of challenges, and that the business as usual case for businesses, for governments, and frankly for individual people is not good enough. So 29 companies are part of this project, and we began to lay out what we call pathways to what would it take to be able to have a world that fundamentally looks different, a world where 9 billion people are well fed and 9 billion people live in relative prosperity on a planet that is a sustainable one. And what we found actually was that we have the means and we have the technology in our grasp, or certainly in our pipelines, to be able to make that happen. And but it is going to take a lot of collaboration, frankly, that we haven't yet had to date.
No, indeed. I mean, if we just look at Copenhagen, it was a sense of governments who came together actually couldn't come to any kind of agreement. Why can business make a difference that governments can't?
Well, I don't know that businesses can do it by themselves. In fact, we can't. We've got to have governments. We've got to be working together with governments, of course, and people have to get behind it. But business does play a role, and business is ones that characterized by entrepreneurship. Businesses bring capital to projects and to places and people, and of course, business is fundamental to the way most of the economies are able to thrive. So if business doesn't get together, and if business doesn't think very responsibly about what needs to happen over these coming 2 generations, then shame on us, frankly.
So what exactly do you plan to do about it? What can Syngenta offer? What can it bring to the table?
Well, keep in mind, agriculture is a huge part of what has to happen differently in order to have a sustainable planet. As I mentioned in the report, for most of human history, actually, humans have had a mostly exploitative relationship with the planet, and we need to turn it into a more symbiotic one. And that can't be done without agriculture playing a meaningful role. For starters, we have to get really serious about the need to grow the food that we eat on a fixed amount of land. Every additional hectare that is put into production crowds out biodiversity, and it needs to be much more important for us to stop that. And for us to stop that, technology and agriculture have to go together, and who better than Syngenta to be a big part of driving that?